Hi, I'm John, and we're going to be talking about recruiting and technology and H1B visas today. Uh, this is Michelle. She and I own a company and have been in and out of the technology business for many, many years now.
Probably combined 50 years, I would
50
think.
years, if you put it all together. Where we're coming from today is I'm applying for a job and I'm working with a recruiter. Now, the way recruiters in technology have worked has changed in the last 15 to 20 years. It used to be that you would work with the recruiter and you would develop a relationship. They talk to you, figure out what it is you do, what the roles, what you accomplished, where you're looking to go for your career, and then they try to find a position that fits into that framework. Now there's a lot of, frankly, Indian recruiters, and they've changed sort of the whole ecosystem of how recruiting works, where today it's really more about, okay, well, you've been in a company, did that, but let's get your little skill matrix. Let's reduce it to simple keywords and not get complicated, because they're really just about making a whole bunch of phone calls, emails, finding somebody quickly and attempting to jam them into a position where they can then get you billing and making money for their firm.
The problem with that, though, is that Indians, compared to their American counterparts, make less money. So they have to rely on phone calls and making the connection with an individual to attempt to get that resume, because that's the only way they get paid, which is also an unfair system. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the greed from the companies is causing not only distress for American IT workers, but also for Indian workers that are recruiters, because I don't know how long this paradigm that we're currently living under is going to last.
Indian recruiters are causing problems for the American recruiters, who now have to compete with a lower rate schedule expectation from the employers, because they go, well, Sanjeev can find me a guy and he only charges, $10 an hour off the top. So it really pushes them to not be able to invest the kind of time that they used to put into it. And then we've got a whole nother problem. Once you get through recruiting, we're also dealing with rates that are going south, because we have so many H1B visa holders who are now part of the competitive market here in the U.S.
The federal government caps how many H1B visa status holders are in the country in a given year. So a 12-month period, January 1st of 2016 to January 1st of 2017, there would be between 60,000 and 190,000 H1B status holders between that in 2016. So that seems like a super reasonable number, under 200,000 people. Unfortunately, visas are given in for 3 years, and then you can reapply, so you can be in the country for 6 years. So that's 6 years. Well, if you're dealing with 200,000 people at any given time at any given year, times that by 6, what do you have? The actual numbers are 700,000 H1B visa holders are in the United States at all times, 500,000 of which are in IT alone. I'm going to read directly from this article because it's actually quite shocking when you think about it. When an employer like Microsoft is hiring an H1B, they cannot be a U.S. citizen, but they have to have comparable skills as a U.S. citizen at the local prevailing wage. So, for example, in Charlotte, this article uses this, it's off of cringely.com. Charlotte, North Carolina, a company seeking a programmer expecting $73,965 a year, but offering $50,170 or below. So that's somebody just took a hit of 23 grand. That's why they can't pay an American citizen, because they're offering John the 50,000, and John's not going to take the 50,000 because John's got too much experience. So because Disney, for example, manipulated the wages that they were willing to pay, they then were able to work around and get Indians in that were H1B status holders. Now, what I think is so interesting about everybody being shocked about Disney is that this stuff's been going on for 20 years. John himself had to train in his Indian counterpart. He was let go, and
guys,
9 months later...
You don't want to do that, trust me.
9 months later, they asked him to come back for the same amount of money because his Indian counterpart, well, he just never did the job as fast as John did. Companies are so not involved in their own business decisions anymore because they shove all their recruitment off onto recruiters.
If you look at the numbers, approximately 1 in 5 IT workers is an H1B worker. Now, there's this concept that they're going to get paid the prevailing wage, but even when companies play fairly, and they don't always because they can manipulate what the prevailing wage is, but just think about that. That's like 500,000 workers dropping into the economy. And it's all supply and demand, so what is that going to do on the prevailing wage?
Naturally,
it's naturally going to lower it for everyone. The only people winning out of this are the employers who now can pay less for the same work. I'm doubly upset because we've lost all these jobs with manufacturing to overseas, and now we're losing service jobs that pay well, which really only leaves service jobs that don't pay well, and, well, I guess doctors and lawyers, but we only need so many doctors and lawyers in a society before things become a complicated mess.
So we will be discussing affordable health care and how that has affected workers in America in our next episode of America for Non-Americans. Thanks for visiting Kraut Girl and Kraut Boy. Peace out, America.
Good luck. It's scary out there.